Hey guys, welcome back to the Hillside. I'm Salisha. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We have so much going on this gardening season. Today I have quite a few tasks that I have to complete, so let's get started. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually plant. I have this taro here that I've been growing in this container for the past year and a half. I bring it inside to keep it alive over the winter because the winters here are too cold to keep it outside, it would die. So I bring it inside and I keep it and I overwinter it. But what I want to do is plant this taro in the ground. So that's what I'm going to do. And in this container here, I'm going to put some of my peppers, and I'm going to get my sweet potatoes, some of the slips in one of my bigger grow bags here, because it's just going to produce a lot more sweet potatoes if we put them in the bigger bag. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these peppers out of the bag, and I'm going to put them in this container here full of soil. They're a lot better for planting peppers in. So I'm going to do that first. And I'm trying not to disrupt the roots too much because they already have peppers on them, most of them. And I don't want them to drop off. And the weather here has been kind of cool the past week. It's starting to warm up again now though, but the past week it actually got kind of cooler than normal for this time of year. But it's a good thing I have everything growing in the greenhouse because they don't really get affected by the cooler nights so much. And we have a lot of vegetables on these plants already, and most people who are growing in the ground don't have any of that yet. So growing in the greenhouse really is a huge benefit. See, look at this one. Has a pepper on it already. And these are the Hungarian wax peppers. Here's one with 2 Hungarian wax, and then another one with 2 Hungarian wax peppers. So now I have the room in my bigger grow bag here to put my sweet potatoes in. So these are the sweet potato slips that I had in the smaller container. I'm gonna put them in my bigger grow bags. I have all of these slips here. I'm just going to pinch them off, pop them in the soil. I started some of my sweet potato slips earlier this year that I grew and then put them in water to establish bigger roots, but you don't have to do that. You can simply pinch off the sweet potato slips and plant them directly in the soil and they'll grow for you as long as you have enough grow time in the season. There we go. Now I have this entire grow bag full of my sweet potato slips. I also have sweet potatoes growing in this container here. They're looking really nice. They're going to produce fruit very soon. These are all beefsteak tomatoes. I'm going to move my potato plants outside. They don't need to be in anymore. I also have some taro that was in my cupboard, and you can see how it looks like this. You peel it and then you can eat it like a potato pretty much. And you can see on it, it's actually putting out some little sprouts, kind of like how a potato will put out the little sprouts coming off of the actual potato, and then you would plant that. This is doing the exact same thing. You can see it's popping out these little sprouts there. So we're gonna go plant this as well as this in the ground, and then I'm gonna go spray all of my fruit trees because we have to spray them today for pests. This is my 2-year-old pepper that I overwintered, and it has peppers on it. It's doing so well. Loves it in here. I planted all of my tomatoes in my huge grow bag this year. I have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 tomatoes in this one grow bag. Now that does seem like a lot, but I am going to trellis all of them up to the roof of the greenhouse, and they're gonna get pruned pretty well. So what I'm gonna do is just remove the leaves off the very bottom of the tomatoes. You don't wanna have leaves touching the ground or touching the soil, because that will just create problems and diseases. So make sure you remove all of those very bottom branches or leaves. And they break off really easily. All right, now let's go plant this taro in ground, because it's time to get it planted. Okay, well, this is the spot. A few years ago we had wood chips delivered here that was cut down from the trees in the ditch beside the house, and we got them to drop it right here. The soil here is really, really good, and I think it's a perfect spot to plant not only the taro but some corn as well. Let me know in the comments section below if you've ever grown taro before, and let me know if you were successful in actually harvesting a lot of the roots. All right, got the taro here. I'm gonna try to separate them. Let's see if we have any roots that developed in here at all. So we have 3 separate plants here. And they were in a very small container, so they weren't able to produce much. But you can see here, there's actually some taro trying to grow right here. And you can see if it had more space, it would have produced really big roots. So that's what we're gonna do for it today. Just give it room to grow. Okay, now we've got 3 beautiful taro here. So this one is a Canadian early super sweet. It's a hybrid, and it says it contains diatomaceous earth on here, which is kind of weird, but kind of good as well. Okay, let's get the corn in. This variety says to plant them in a block rather than in single rows, because we'll get better germination. We have a row of taro. We have 3 taro plants and then that root. And then on this side here, we planted all of the sweet corn in one block. Beside that, we have some sunflowers and just some other flowers. It's gonna be really pretty to see this on the side of the front yard when they all start growing in. Remember, taro is just like a potato. Actually, it's quite easier to grow than regular potatoes, and you can get a great harvest, and they're just as nutritious as regular potatoes, probably a little bit more actually. So make sure you grow taro, especially if you're having a hard time growing regular potatoes. Taro is something that grows rather easily, and they get really, really big. If you've ever seen what elephant ears look like, that's pretty much what the taro looks like. And then at the end of the season, you can dig it all up and harvest those big roots, and then you can pretty much use them as you would potatoes. You can fry them, bake them, mash them. Pretty much anything you can do with potatoes, you can do with taro root. So make sure you go out, get some taro, purchase them from the grocery store, and then leave them in your cupboard for a little while, and they'll start to sprout for you, and then you can just plant that in your garden or in a container. And make sure when you're planting corn that you don't plant two different varieties. in close proximity, because they can cross-pollinate and then you won't get corn that's true to seed. So make sure you leave, you know, a good amount of space between different varieties, because you don't want them to cross-pollinate. Other than that, we're going to feed this corn with some organic fertilizer once every week or so. And then we'll start cutting that back, and then we're gonna start preventing diseases, because there's so many different worms and bugs that try to attack your corn. So we're gonna have to use a lot of organic pest control methods in order to keep the pests off the corn. That's probably one of my biggest challenges growing corn, is dealing with the pests. So I know that's gonna be another challenge, but I'm here for it. This year I have 2 different corn. I have Country Gentleman, and then I have the Canadian Early Super Sweet. So let's see how they do. We got corn and taro planted today, guys. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay peaceful.